Hey everyone, meteorologist Sydney Goldberg here from the First Alert Desk, and it's Tuesday, or as Matt Williams and Jared Silverman like to call it, not Monday. So first, let's start off with the latest update over in the tropics. We're still tracking what is now Tropical Storm Erin as of yesterday. We got the latest advisory about an hour ago that came out at 10 a.m. Right now, Erin is located roughly 800 miles west of the Cabo Verde Islands. Winds are sustained right now at 45 miles an hour, and it's going to continue west around 23 miles an hour that direction. So as we go into tomorrow, it should remain tropical storm strength. The National Hurricane Center official forecast cone has Erin strengthening into a hurricane by sometime going into Thursday evening. And then as it continues its way westward, we're really going to see this strengthening as it moves into a more conducive environment. So Erin likely to become our first hurricane of the season. And also, if you look at the end of the forecast cone here, that's a 3. So that's expecting for the first major hurricane season as well. Also, a lot of the model guidances are expected for this to take a right turn. Now, the uncertainty with this storm, though, is the degree of that turn. Is it going to be a sharp right turn where it stays more out towards the east, or is it going to be a larger turn where we still see some impacts for our friends over in the East Coast? So we'll continue to keep you updated on that. Here's what Tropical Storm Erin looks like right now on our satellite. You can see there's a pretty good center of circulation there, but not a lot of thunderstorm activity except for places down towards the south of that center of circulation. That's because Erin is battling a lot of dry air. You can see that in the water vapor, that orange. This is not good for tropical systems. So Erin's going to remain right at that tropical storm strength continuing in tomorrow once it gets out of that drier air and into much warmer ocean waters. You can see that here. This is our oceanic heat content, and I've got the track here of Erin. Notice as it gets closer to the Leeward Islands, much warmer ocean water, so that's why we go from category 1 quickly to a category 3 as we go into this weekend. So Tropical Storm Erin is not the only thing that we're watching for. The National Hurricane Center, as of this morning at 7 a.m., still highlighting 2 areas for tropical development, but if you notice, they're very small and yellow. In fact, the one over in the Gulf, that's got a 0% chance of developing both in the next couple of days and through the rest of the week. This one up here in the northern Atlantic, very low chance of development, not going to be bothering us. You can see that here on tropical satellite. It does have a little bit of a swirl to it. It's going to continue out into the open waters. And in fact, this has more of a subtropical features to it, so not looking likely for any kind of development. This is the disturbance, though, that's being highlighted in the northern Gulf. This is going to bring us good rain chances beginning today, and also the potential of seeing some heavy rain through the afternoon. Right now, though, not seeing any rain really inland. A lot of the activity is along the coast, seeing some good thunderstorm activity near Grand Isle, Port Sulphur, La Rose, Galliano. So we'll continue to see these storms work their way further inland as we go later into the afternoon. So temperature-wise, though, because we'll be mainly dry for the first half of the day, going into around lunchtime, it'll still be warm, getting into the low 90s. Once we get to the late afternoon, evening, though, scattered storms will continue to push their way further inland and then dissipate as we get into the late evening and overnight. So I'll show you that in the modeling here. Those storms offshore will continue to make their way inland, isolated showers and storms popping up around 1 o'clock and then becoming more scattered once we get to those afternoon hours. So here's 3 o'clock and into the early evening as well. But you notice the motion as they continue their way northward. And then once we lose the daytime heating, so once we get to around sunset, a lot of that activity should dissipate and will trend drier going into the overnight hours. So elevated rain chances are going to stick with us right into about Thursday for the rest of the week, and that has to do with that disturbance. So it'll keep temperatures around normal in those low 90s. But as we get into later into the week, by the weekend, you'll notice rain chances drop off. So that means temperatures are going to rise back into those mid 90s. All right, we'll have more information on the tropics for you, as well as tracking those storm chances over on the noon show with Jeff Morrow.